Welcome to Gulf South Outdoors, and thanks for joining us to find your outdoors. This week we've got some great duck hunting from Lucedale, Mississippi. Let's head on over to Southern Hunts to check out the action.
Welcome y'all this morning to Southern Hunts. Hope everybody had a good ride in right here. We're going to be judging the dogs here this morning. We're going to be doing some duck shooting. Guys that got blinds set up will be putting you in the blinds. We're going to be releasing ducks. It'll be, you know, just like always, duck shooting. But this year we're going to have the field trial here this morning. We're going to shoot 5 or 6 ducks down. Then we're going to turn it over to Mr. Tom right here. Then the dogs will be working. Well, basically, you know, you get kids coming here and youth, whatever, shooting, whatever. It's always a good place to come and let them learn how to shoot and enjoy the outdoor. Lord bless us with a good place here to come shoot ducks. These guys that bring their dogs in here to work their dogs and to seeing the shooting, the dogs working and retrieving the ducks and everything, and watching some little kid kill his first duck, or, you know, 15th or 20th duck is always just exciting to see the smile on their face, and it's just a good time. It's a good time to be outdoors.
When Gulf South Outdoors returns, we'll be joined by Tommy Wilcox for some pointers on gun safety. And later, we'll explore the world of dog trials with Tom Hamilton of Bracken Fen Gun Dogs. Stay tuned.
And this is my wife, Susan. This is Susan's first time to do any type of shotgun hunting or any waterfowling. She's shot deer and stuff with rifles, so shotguns are new to her. And so today we're going to kind of go with her a little bit about wing shooting and the importance of safety with wing shooting. We've already went over how to load a gun. And what I was explaining to her earlier is when she's here and she's shooting waterfowl, as I explained to her, it's really 2 ways. The most important thing about shooting waterfowl or any kind of wing bird is the lead, is the sustained lead, is the first one I showed her. Well, you're going to come up, Susan, as that bird flies away. I like to get just in front of the beak, and what you want to do is you want to hold that gun just out in front. Now, at this range right here, you could get just in front of the bird's beak. You aim small, you miss small. So don't think about the entire bird. Think of that, I want to shoot that bird right in his eye, or I want to shoot that bird in this particular spot. So what you're going to need to do is, if the bird's coming in, just place your gun just out in front of him. And as he's flying, you want to continue to move that gun along just in front of that bird. That's going to be your lead. At this range, we don't need a lot of lead, but we'll need a little bit of lead. Now, the most important thing about sustained lead is you don't want to stop. And that's the biggest problem with people that's missing, is that as they're passing through the bird, is they'll stop before they pull the trigger, and they'll miss. They'll shoot behind the bird. So you want to shoot. When you want to fire, you want to fire as you're moving. Your second method that you'll want to use is you can do what's called, instead of a sustained lead, you can do what's called a pass-through. And if this is your bird flying here, you can bring your gun up and you can start approaching the bird, and you can let the gun pass actually through the bird, just like so as he's coming by. Instead of being here, you'll start here, come past, and then you'll fire. See how these guys did?
You know, a lot of ducks flying in. We had some good shots on some, but those couple shots we took a pretty good bit of shots at some and they didn't fall. But other than that, we killed a pretty good bit of ducks, and it was fun and I enjoyed it.
We've killed a lot of birds. There's been a lot of greenheads and hens going down. It's good times, real fun.
Hello, I'm Tom Hamilton of Bracken Fen Gun Dogs. Today we're holding an English field trial here at Steve's Game Preserve. And the reason we're holding it is to be able to judge dogs under real hunting conditions. It's not a test, it's an elimination event where the dogs compete against each other one-on-one until we have the best dog at the end of the day. The dogs have to be steady to all shot, be able to deliver to hand, handle on the whistle, and pick up any birds that they're sent for. The crippled birds, if there's a crippled bird down and there's a dead bird, the dog's required to pick the crippled bird first. So it'd be just as if you were really hunting, you wouldn't want that cripple to get away. I'm the trainer of Bracken Fen Gun Dogs, and we started the English Field Trial Association of America out of our kennel about 5 years ago. And we're trying to hold these events on game preserve so we can see the dogs actually work in real hunting conditions.
We'll have more with Tom Hamilton and Bracken Fen Gun Dogs right after this.
Yeah, it was a great hunt. You know, a lot of ducks flying in, and you know, these dogs are really good dogs. You know, they had some hard retrieves, especially some of the ducks that were, you know, still crippled and they were still diving under the water. It was just really tough retrieves, and they did a really good job. It was, you know, especially seeing some of the old dogs out here working, and then some young dogs out here too. But
kind of an intermission now, just waiting for these dogs to work. We've had our first 3 flights come through. We've killed a lot of birds.
This is the Road to the Conference USA Championship, presented by Keesler Federal Credit Union.
We're back once again with our good friend Tim Bennet, and with Conference USA coming up here in about 3 weeks. Tim, give us an update in the standings.
Well, we're watching some pretty amazing baseball right now. For the first time, USM, they're ranked number 11 right now, but they're on a 9-game winning streak.
Wow.
Hard to believe. One of the best looking teams in the country. I mean, they're looking like your Florida, your Stanford, your top 10 teams that are really pouring it on in the end. This is when you want to see your team get hot, and USM has certainly proven that they're hot and ready to go.
Well, that's great.
Florida Atlantic's looking good as usual. Louisiana Tech is in second place right now. I think it's going to be a fight out between Louisiana Tech and USM. It kind of has been all season. They've been 1 and 2, kind of jockeying back and forth. This last 9-game win streak is just incredible. There's not much you can do with that if you're Louisiana Tech, except to hope they get cold before the tournament starts. Can't count out the Rice Owls. Can't sleep on the Owls. They're down around 8th right now, but they've been a mainstay in baseball for so many years. Sure. A little change in administration last year. It's going to cause a little lag, but I think that in the end, they're used to winning. They're used to being in a tournament. I'd be real careful of the Rice Owls.
So who's your money on?
Well, if I were a betting man, I'd bet on USM right now for Conference USA tournament, that is. Can you carry that momentum into the tournament and then complete that? And that's the question. You see so many teams that get hot in all sports. They get hot right there in the end, and a lot of times you use up all your energy to get there, and you can't carry it on. Right. You like to be a team that's hot going into the tournament, and that's why I say you got to be careful with those lower-seeded teams like the Rice Owls. They know how to win. They know when to turn it on, and even though they don't have the greatest team this year, it's really more about the cohesiveness and gelling there at the end of the season. And I would suspect that they're going to do a little bit of that. And I would say because of their experience, you got to be real careful. But just looking at the talent, the way USM is winning, it's not just pitching, it's not just hitting. They're putting it all together. They've got pitching, they've got hitting, they're fielding well, they're playing together as a team. You know, every club has 1 or 2 standout athletes on it, but when your whole team plays well as a unit, hard to beat.
Well, that's great. Well, thanks a lot for joining us once again, Tim. When Go South Outdoors returns, we'll head over to the Blind Tiger Biloxi for some duck-inspired Hook It and Cook It.
This is one of my favorite dishes. We're going to do duck nachos today. We've got tomatoes, red onions, fresh jalapenos, fresh cut garlic, green onions, some lime, fresh cilantro, and char-grilled corn. We've got a little bit of fresh butter and our peach habanero barbecue sauce. What we're going to do to start it out real easy before we get into putting together our salsa, I like to take our tortillas. We'll lay them out, really no particular order. But we'll go with just a light butter drizzle. A lot of people do too much butter, so you tend to get a lot of smoke and soot on there. Just a touch, you can rub it around. We're gonna go straight to our grill with them. Doesn't take long. Now, some people ask me, why do you use the flour tortillas? They tend to absorb a little bit of the juice. I like it a lot better, and it's not as crunchy as the corn. You want to keep them on here. Turn them there. Now, the biggest thing is let them cook. You want them to get crispy. You want the good char flavor. You've got the nice savory butter on there. You know, so many people will say, I put these on, and then they puff up, they go crazy, and they burn. But relax, all in good time. We're gonna go with about a cup of each ingredient. As far as tomatoes and onions, and fresh garlic, touch of fresh jalapeno. You know, you can use jar jalapenos. I prefer to use the fresh. Just watch because they tend to get hot. Fresh corn in there, and you can do all this on your grill. Always use fresh lime juice. You can use lemon. I prefer lime. There it is. Now we've got a fresh chili spice we're adding here. We've got our roasted corn, tomatoes, cilantro, green onions, fresh jalapenos, fresh smashed garlic. and cilantro. We'll lightly sprinkle over, and remember folks, you can always add, but you can't take away whenever it comes to cooking, so season as you go. We're gonna come back with our oil. We have our duck heating up in our pan. You can really start to smell all that smoky flavor. We're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of the duck stock. You can see the duck starting to stick a little bit, get that nice caramel color. So, once you add that, you're gonna come here and we have our peach habanero barbecue sauce. We're gonna take this and we're gonna add it in as the liquid gets hot. So we're slowly adding here. We're going to take our chips. We're going to go ahead and cut them. You can go ahead and cut them long ways, do a one long chip, or we can go ahead and do it more of a traditional style. Cut them here. So we're going to do this two different ways. So with our plain duck, we're just going to kind of start off like Legos. We're going to build it up. A little bit of duck. Little bit of salsa. Start with another chip. A little bit more duck. A little bit of our fresh corn salsa. I would garnish definitely with maybe a little bit of fresh lime juice. Can never have enough fresh lime, guys. Fresh lime juice. Touch of sour cream. And you're in business. We'll go ahead and mix it around. And we cut those chips a little bit bigger. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You like these chips, they get a little firm so you can pick it up. Almost like a food shovel, for lack of better words. We can go ahead and stick everything on it right there. And again, a little bit of lime wedge. A little bit of fresh cilantro. And there you have it, guys. Duck nacho.
Thanks for joining us this week on Gulf South Outdoors. And remember to join us next week to find your outdoors.